Well, but anyway, the story.
Can you explain this to us? Though?
I can try to explain, but try to follow.
Because I'm lost. I'm like, wait a minute, milk is racist.
Lost.
Like, talk to me, Gene.
You're lost. My goodness.
I mean, you know me. I like to be on the cutting edge of not being racist. Talk to me.
I'm not gonna laugh.
Listen, first of all, I don't even put. Just for the record, I feel like our listeners know this. I do not put milk in my coffee. I prefer my coffee strong, black, and opinionated.
Behind enemy lines. You know, our good friend Van Hip, Russ, has an article out this week on FoxNews.com, I believe, talking about where are the Truman Democrats? Where are the middle-of-the-road, reasonable Democrats? I mean, the answer to me is they've mostly passed away, but at the same time...
Wait a minute. Are you telling me Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi are not middle-of-the-road moderates?
Compared to what? I mean, that's the answer. That's the real answer. Compared to...
Are you telling me Chuck Schumer is not a moderate, but level-headed politician? I mean, I get what you're saying, Gene. Obviously, I agree with you. Because I challenge our listeners, can you point to a moderate Democrat? I can point to lots of moderate Republicans. I can actually point to this last bunch of guys who ran for president. If you minus out the 2016 race, you got Mitt Romney, you got John McCain, even George Bush. Those are what you call moderate Republicans. And I used to tell my friends, you can have guys like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton running the country if you want, but you have to be ready for the backlash. Now, I don't believe the pendulum swings left to right. I believe the pendulum swings far left, slightly right of center. Far further left, slightly right of center. But the backlash is a guy like Trump. Every once in a generation, the pendulum swings a little further right than center, and you get a Donald Trump. And you get what you deserve. We had to eat Obama and Hillary and the Clintons all these years. And those are radical people. When did the party turn? You could go back even further. Jimmy Carter was another one. Insane. It wasn't even like Carter was a middle-of-the-road guy. Who was the last middle-of-the-road Democrat? Lyndon Johnson? I can't even think of one.
But, Russ, the craziness in the news has not stopped there with milk being racist. Oh, no. You see, the rise of Donald Trump has also brought about the rise of the anti-Trump and people of those ilk. And probably the most prominent anti-Trump person to come out of the left recently, MIchael Avenatti, the creepy porn lawyer, as Tucker Carlson.
Who, by the way, I heard is considering throwing his hat in the ring.
Oh, he's
in 2020.
Considering. He has a list of 20 policy positions on his Twitter right now that you can go look up and see what his positions are if you are.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Inclined. Oh, absolutely. You can go for it, Russ, and go nail him on every single one of them if you want to. But
let him run. Let him run.
Yeah, please run. Michael, please run. Especially since you've had the absolute worst week in the history of politics, where it came out that the lawsuit you brought on behalf of your client, porn star Stormy Daniels, for defamation against President Trump was dismissed. But not only dismissed, it was dismissed and the president was awarded legal fees, which I'm sure, given that he's the president and he has many lawyers, it's probably going to be very high in the bill. And I don't think you're going to like that. But as if that wasn't a big enough of a legal body blow for you, this week, Avenatti was hit with a judgment against him for failing to pay a former associate attorney at his firm to the tune of $4.85 million. Now, those numbers are pretty big, and that would make anyone's really bad. But we're not done yet. MIchael Avenatti then was hit with another judgment, a judgment of eviction for his Newport Beach offices and storage space in Newport Beach, where he owed hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for not paying for the past 4 months. So no office space, $4 million judgment, has to pay his nemesis's legal bills. My goodness. I mean, you want to talk about karma. This is what happens when you represent porn stars who claim to who slept with the president and, break confidentiality, and women who claim to have been to multiple gang rape parties and never reported.
That's what I was going to ask you, too. Didn't he also bring up the woman who claimed to have been gang raped on multiple occasions and has subsequently fell off the face of the earth? Like, where are these women now?
Oh, absolutely.
Did they ever go to the police? And
just to bring it full circle once again, his PAC, because he created a PAC now, Russ, has started raising money for who? Beto O'Rourke, who we started talking about in the beginning of the segment, except that any contribution that goes through his PAC, he gets 50% of it. Ain't that about a you-know-what?
50% of it to do what? To, like, administer it?
I assume it's like payment as tribute. I have no clue what he's
Wow.
doing with his 50%.
I don't want to waste a lot of time on this one, but I did have a question because you kind of touched on it with the legal fees. I was wondering, is it like a set rate, or do they actually go and ask him to prove like all the legal fees he's incurred and she has to pay all of those? Because he probably does have like a dozen lawyers.
Presumably, he has signed retainers with all these attorneys, and he's been paying a certain rate for services and has to pay for copying and mailing and all that kind of stuff. And each attorney, when they work on it, will be able to charge whatever their agreed upon fee is for the number of hours. And what will happen is he'll submit a bill to the court for payment through his attorneys based upon the retainer and based upon what they actually billed. Now, presumably, Avenatti is on record as saying he's going to appeal this judgment, but ultimately I think he's going to end up having to pay, if not tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees, maybe six figures in legal fees. Just as a guess. Depending upon how many attorneys. I mean, you gotta think, I'm a poor country lawyer, and when I bill out at $3.25 an hour. So, you have to think that a high-powered attorney representing the President of the United States probably charging in the neighborhood of 3 times that. Let's round it up to $1,000 an hour per attorney, and let's say each attorney did 100 hours of work. You do the math on that, right?
He got Khashoggi'd.
Good Lord, why'd you go there?
Because I definitely want to talk about that, too.
Well, you know
we
what?
got to talk about Khashoggi.
You can do that in your final thought. If you want to take that over, Russ, do you want to go first or second? You let me know.
I'll go first. I'll talk about my boy Khashoggi.
All right, go for it.
All right, so listen, Gene. Khashoggi. He's this Saudi Arabian journalist that got allegedly killed in Turkey at a Saudi embassy, right?
Oh, there's nothing alleged about it. It's confirmed.
All right, well, I'm going to use alleged for now. I haven't seen any proof, but I just want to clear the air here, Gene, because even people that I work with are foolishly saying that this guy was an American citizen. He might have had American residency, might have. This was a Saudi journalist who may or may not have been a member of the Muslim Brotherhood at some point in his life, who went to a Saudi embassy in Turkey and was killed by Saudi security forces in Turkey. So what exactly does this have to do with us in any way, shape, or form? What does the left want the president to do? Go to war over this? Like, I'm lost. F Khashoggi, F the Saudis, and F Turkey. We ain't got no business there. But if we're making some profit off Saudi Arabia by selling some arms, hey, who's better than us? That's my final thought.
All right, pal. That's a good one. I gotta say, I wasn't thinking we were gonna go there tonight, but I'm with it. And that'll just about do it for this week's show. I want to thank Chris Casamassa for coming on the show. I want to thank Reagan the Cat for a little bit of a cameo earlier.
Quick catio.
Yeah, quick catio on the radio. And, but until next week, folks, it's time to shut this sucker down. Russ, shut it down.
Gene, let's go to the bathroom. Shut this mofo down.
Thanks for listening to Behind Enemy Lines. I'm Gene, he's Russ, from the People's Republic of New York. We are out of here.
Our position's been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. A rock radio production. Back in 7 days. Out.